各位聽眾你好，歡迎收聽陽光大道。我哋呢個 podcast 係喺美洲時間逢星期一朝早推出。今日嘅節目包括舊年8月嘅家庭健康講座嘅連載，由 Vanessa Quintana 博士主講，之後會有空中花園。
We've gone through a lot together.
我哋已經過咗一齊好多嘅事情。
If we think about it in a global third's eye perspective,
如果呢個全球嘅一個第三角度嚟睇嘅話呢，
we have all been deeply and permanently impacted by the events of the last 2 or 3 years.
過去2-3年嘅事情呢，已經係永久嘅係衝擊咗我哋。
I think there's a real difference between those individuals who recognize the impact they've received,
可能有好多都會認知道呢個衝擊有幾深，
and individuals who don't realize that and continue as if nothing has happened.
但亦都有人呢係認知唔到呢啲嘅衝擊，而係呢好似照舊咁樣過生活。
We need to recognize
我
what
哋
has
需要
happened.
認知究竟發生咗咩事。
More importantly, the impact this has had on our emotional system,
尤其係我哋喺情緒上嘅影響，
spiritual system,
喺屬靈上嘅影響，
social system,
喺社交上嘅影響，
and relational system.
同埋人際關係裏邊嘅影響。
We give so much importance to the way it's impacted our physical system,
我哋好多時注意嘅就係我哋身體上有咩影響，
but the impact is so much more.
但其實呢個衝擊呢係仲多好多樣嘢添嘅。
I will be mentioning the pandemic,
我會提到呢次嘅疫情，
but I want us to focus more on the things that we've also lived in our lives that have caused us impact.
但係我亦都會注重到呢有啲乜嘢呢係影響到我哋生活。
The pandemic will form part of this conversation,
呢個疫情呢會係呢一個對話嘅一部分，
but I'm not going to focus on just that.
但係唔會淨係最終喺呢一部分。
The topic today, steadfast love during turmoil.
今日嘅主題就係喺疫情之中堅定不移嘅愛。
I chose very specifically because we see how all of these things that we've lived
特登揀選咁嘅題目嘅原因就係因為我哋經歷所嘅一切
happen to us, and we can still find a reason,
發生喺我哋身上，但我哋都仲揾到一個原因，
a hope,
一個希望，
and also a very beautiful opportunity.
亦都係一個好美麗嘅機會。
I have to be honest with you.
我要誠實咁講，
I'm not used to standing in one place.
我就唔慣企喺同一個地點。
I usually move a lot with my hands or my body. I am going to take the microphone off here.
所以我就唔慣，有好多時都要喐手喐身咁，所以我就會拎起個咪，
Freedom. Okay.
咁就有啲自由啦。
Oh, even more freedom. Thank you.
無線就更加好。
What words does the word trauma come to mind for you?
如果我講到 trauma 創傷呢個字，你會諗到其他咩字呢？
We're going to talk about different types of trauma,
我哋會講到不同嘅種類嘅創傷，
but I want to start with the way that trauma impacts us in general.
亦都會講到主要係創傷會點樣影響我哋。
When there is a crisis or a life-changing event,
當生活上有呢個危機嘅大事件嘅時候，
we become very vulnerable.
我哋就變得好脆弱。
When we are vulnerable,
當我哋脆弱嘅時候呢，
we can feel lost,
就會有迷失，
unanchored,
就冇咗個錨，
shaky,
就開始搖動。
and we don't know oftentimes what is going to happen that could cause us to feel stress.
咁我哋就唔知咩事呢，就會帶嚟啲壓力喺我哋身上。
It could be something simple,
可能好簡單嘅事，
like a smell or a taste,
聞到啲嘢啊，或者個味覺感到啲嘢啊，
or hearing the news,
或者聽到咩新聞啊，
or someone yelling at us.
或者有人大聲叫我哋啊。
In any case, those things, often called triggers,
咁好多呢啲嘢呢，都係一個叫做觸發點。
cause us a lot of hypervigilance.
咁我哋呢，就特別呢係超合理性嘅，成日都有警覺。
It's like we're walking, something happened to us early in life. Let's just say we experienced trauma due to immigration.
可能我哋移民咁就有一個創傷，
Brought into a culture that is so different
去嚟到一個咁唔同嘅文化裏邊，
and that is so strange,
好奇怪，
and we still have to function.
但係仍然呢，生活要照舊嘅過。
That might have happened maybe earlier in our life.
可能你一生早時嘅發生過嘅事，
And we walk through life, and suddenly at some point, something else happens.
跟住我哋一路過活，咁去到某一個點呢，又有啲事發生，
Like someone saying something discriminatory.
有人去講嘢歧視你，
We get fired from a job because we didn't do good enough as maybe an individual from the dominant culture.
咁可能我哋因為做得唔夠好，唔比本地人好，所以呢就俾人炒魷。
And that experience, it's almost as if you're adding another layer on top of the one we lived before.
咁所以呢種嘅經驗呢，就好似喺你體驗到嘅事上面再加上一層。
And we continue.
我哋要繼續，
We keep going, and we come to a place where maybe we have a family, and we experience our children being discriminated.
咁可能去到有家庭嘅時候，到我哋嘅小孩佢哋受到歧視，
Going through hardships,
遇到有啲困難，
or maybe talking in a way or expressing themselves
或者係自我表達嘅一個方法，
that reminds us of these events.
就會提醒我哋自己經歷過嘅呢啲事情。
We become impacted by this complex trauma.
咁所以有咁多複雜嘅創傷呢，就會衝擊到我哋。
And thus, our families are also influenced with what we've lived.
咁我哋嘅家人呢，亦都會因我哋受到影響。
This can cause us to ignore
咁就會使我哋呢係忽略咗，
the mental health implications.
就係呢啲精神健康嘅意思啦。
Because even if we say it or we don't say it, express it or don't express it,
無論我哋有講出嚟或者係冇講出嚟，
we are impacted.
都會受到影響衝擊。
And maybe we call anxiety by another name.
可能我哋係有個焦慮，但係我哋係用第二個字嚟叫佢。
We call depression by another name.
可能係抑鬱，但係我哋又有第二個字取代佢。
We call emotional distance by another name.
係情緒嘅隔離，但係咧又用另外一個字描述佢。
And we rationalize it or justify it.
我哋又會使佢合理化，
But that doesn't mean that it's not impacting me and others around me.
但係唔表示事情唔影響到你，唔影響到你周圍嘅人。
The sad part is that we carry this through generations genetically.
最悲哀嘅就係咧一個基因咧遺傳到下一代、下幾代。
Whether it be abuse that we've seen or a traumatic accident,
可能係一啲被虐待啦，或者有一啲嘅創傷。
the emotional experience that we suffered in that moment, if we do not heal and resolve it, we carry it on.
所以呢啲情緒嘅創傷，如果唔解決、唔醫治嘅話呢，會繼續傳落去。
各位聽眾早晨 ，Megan Team 早晨，你哋好。
各位聽眾早晨 ，Megan 牧師早晨。
各位聽眾早晨，大家好。上一集呢，我哋分享到彼得被救出監牢之後呢，佢立即去到一個弟兄嘅屋企，嗰度聚集咗好多弟兄喺度，向佢哋講出佢嘅見證。到咗朝頭早啦，大群嘅人呢就集合要睇呢個使徒被處死，去到嗰個地方，希律就派官員呢去將彼得帶出嚟。
當時呢，守衛嘅士兵發現彼得 已經逃走咗啦。佢哋咧就大為驚慌，因為命令曾經講到規定咗佢哋呢個任務係大噶，同埋咧如果佢哋有所收遲嘅話，佢哋嘅性命咧就會作為抵押。因此佢哋曾特別咁嚴厲咁，更加戒嚴咗去做呢一件守衛彼得嘅事。當長官嚟到要攞彼得嘅時候，守衛嘅士兵仍然喺家門裏邊防守，鐵閘啦、鐵鏈啦仍然鎖緊，鐵鏈仍然咧扣住喺2個士兵嘅手腕上邊，但係呢個囚犯彼得就唔見咗啦。
希律聽到彼得走甩咗嘅消息，禁唔住呢嬲到好似發咗癲咁樣，佢就責怪啲守監嘅衛兵冇忠到佢哋嘅職守，就下令將佢哋處死。希律明知拯救彼得嘅係唔係人力所為嘅，但係佢堅決唔承認嗰個挫敗佢計劃嘅乃係上帝嘅大能，故而大膽咁樣反抗上帝。
喺彼得蒙救出監牢冇幾耐呢，希律呢就去到該撒利亞，喺嗰度大擺筵席，為要引起眾人嘅敬服，並博得佢哋嘅讚賞。各處愛好宴樂嘅人呢都去到嗰度赴宴，筵席之間美酒佳肴係一定有啦。而且希律呢大張聲勢同埋威儀出現喺眾人面前，氣宇軒昂嘅向各位嘉賓致辭。
希律呢當時穿住金色銀色燦爛嘅外袍，陽光呢照喺佢上邊，哇，真係光輝奪目噶。佢呢一種高貴而威儀，而且呢又有好多裝飾嘅辭令，使到呢佢講嘅說話，使到佢嘅形象好有魅力，使人呢好欣賞。佢哋嘅感覺呢已經因為食嘢啦，同埋呢佢哋飲咗好多嘅酒而麻痹咗啦。而家呢又因為希律嘅服飾咁悅目，同埋佢嘅詞風呢更加深邃，所以佢哋呢就更加瘋狂起嚟啦。
佢哋更進一步咁樣聲稱，佢哋過去一直尊崇希律為君王，以後呢應該敬拜佢為神明。有一啲當時發聲讚揚呢個邪惡罪人嘅賓客，喺唔係好幾年之前，亦都係曾經瘋狂咁樣呼喊除掉耶穌，釘佢十字架，釘佢十字架。猶太人早已經拒絕接受耶穌基督，只係因佢服裝簡陋，而且染咗啲微塵，殊不知佢裏面卻係蘊藏住一個具有神聖嘅愛嘅心。
雖然基督嘅神能已經藉住佢冇人能行嘅行為彰顯咗喺佢哋嘅面前，但係佢哋眼呢就唔能夠喺卑微嘅外表之下辨識到基督嘅生命同埋榮耀。而家呢個傲慢嘅王呢，雖然着住華麗金銀織成嘅衣袍，但係佢個內心係隱藏咗一個腐敗而殘酷嘅心。但係猶太人甘願將佢當做神明嚟到敬拜。
希律呢明知道自己唔配到人哋所俾佢嘅頌讚同埋敬拜，但係佢卻公然咁接受百姓嘅呢一種極度嘅尊榮同埋自以為義係應得嘅。當希律聽到眾人呼喊呢個係神嘅聲音，呢個唔係人嘅聲音嘅時候，佢自己呢更加不禁心花怒放，意氣昂揚咁樣得意起嚟。
但係希律忽然咁樣形色大變，個面好似死灰咁嘅顏色，渾身慘痛，汗流浹背。佢一時咁樣企喺嗰度，竟好似有好巨劇嘅痛而呆咗喺嗰度，呆若木雞啦。於是佢轉過佢嗰個蒼白而鐵青嘅面，向旁邊驚係萬狀嘅友人用沉重而絕望嘅聲音咁喊叫。
希律喺極度難堪同埋慘痛當中，被人抬出咗呢個狂歡嘅炫耀嘅酒會出嚟。片刻之前，希律喺洋洋得意嘅接受大量群眾嘅稱讚同埋敬拜。而家佢睇出自己嘅命運係掌握在一個有能力嘅主宰嘅手中。
聖經嘅記載，希律喺上帝嘅報應之下受到刑罰，而且咧身心靈受到極大嘅慘痛而死去。各位聽眾，呢個成為我哋一個嘅借鑒。今集嘅時間又到啦，下一集咧再同大家分享啦，再見。
陽光大道嘅 podcast 係由美國加州 Temple City 嘅基督復臨安息日會羅省粵語教會製作，可以分別喺 AWR 嘅各個管道收聽同 subscribe 訂閱，包括蘋果機嘅 podcast app、iTunes， 仲有 Google、Spotify、Amazon 等等。而多年以嚟嘅所有節目仲可以喺 linguaspirit.net 嘅網站重溫。我哋仲會將節目上載到我哋嘅 YouTube Channel Sunshine Boulevard 陽光大道 道粵語 podcast， 大家可以撳 subscribe 訂閱。我哋仲設有 Facebook 專頁，你撳咗 like 即係讚，就可以每個禮拜睇到我哋最新一集節目嘅消息。呢個專頁嘅網址係 facebook.com/Sunshine Cantonese。好，我哋下次再見。